drive me.
Yeah, he wouldn't have it any other way. Welcome, everybody to the Thursday call for PTR. We are happy to have you here. I'm going to pass the torch to Peter Gantner, and he is going to wow us with all things Nexus ecosystem.
So guys, thank you for being here. Thank you. Of course, we're always grateful to the PTR group for the value that's been created and continues to be created. A lot of great things that are happening and going on, even though the market is right. Top of the market was $2,966 billion. So $2.966 trillion was the top of the market. Right now it sits just over 2. So it's down about a little over 30% right now. But again, that's an opportunity for a lot of us, right? That have maybe got into crypto a little bit late. There's some better buys out there. It gives it time for it to stabilize. It also too is, I think one of the good things to look at is if it just kept running up, let's say it hit the 3 trillion. And then it kept running up to 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6 in a very short period of time. We know what that looks like because that's what it did at the end of 2017, 18. It got extremely hot and ran up tremendously. And then when it did come down, it didn't have a 30% correction. It had an 80+%, right, correction. Bitcoin went from 20,000 down to 3,000. So if you do the math on that, right, that's about a 15% hold rate on it. So that's 85% correction in it. And so that actually got a lot of people to get out of the space. And then when the boom came, they were not positioned to make it happen. So one of the things we're going to start moving towards, we are launching a forum. In that forum, it's going to have some tips on doing what's called farming. So we're going to start teaching about doing some farming, for some staking. These are things where you can start to generate some revenue along the way. And if you farm or stake in big enough projects, there's plenty of liquidity for you to make a little bit of money on what you're doing. There's some farming out there where you can earn 100% a year on your money. Now, and I know you guys are seeing ones that people have that are 1,000,000% interest or whatever. Those are, bound for the trash heap, right? They're not going to survive or make it at the end of the day because of the interest rate that they're paying to get attraction to their projects. They're going too far, right? And that's human nature is, oh, that person's doing this much, so let's offer more. Oh, that person's doing that much, let's offer more. Oh, that person's doing that much, let's offer more. But you can look at the track record of the projects that have been out there and that have done some of those crazy things. So our goal is to bring legitimate projects, legitimate teams, and continue to move things forward. Got a lot of great stuff. NSI, of course, Doug did an update earlier today on that. We're hoping here in the next few weeks that trading will be up and going, and that is going to bring a tremendous amount of value to Insights, but really to the whole Nexus ecosystem, because TruBadger will be one of the tokens that'll be promoted to be traded there. And so will SafuFi. So it'll start to bring new holders, new traders and stuff that will come in, and it'll probably bring a little bit more volatility to the market, but it will bring volume in and going out, swap in and out volume, which will give us resources on the fee side of things. But also a lot of people will then get exposed to the brand, and we can talk to them about what we're doing in the future and then add good people to it as well. So that's one of the things that's coming. And of course, CNP is going to be a big avenue for us to begin to bring people in. So we did an AMA on Clubhouse. Was anybody able to, if you did make it on there, put a 1 in the chat to the Clubhouse AMA, either if you're on YouTube or wherever it was. So that was an interesting AMA because that was all NFT people. And one of the gentlemen that came on, Andrew, these people are deep into NFTs, right? These are not, kind of every once in a while, let me do an NFT, right? They're really deep into NFTs. Yeah. And one of the unique things that was said, and I believe it was him that said it, is that this was a unique project that he hadn't seen before because the aspect of the film, the aspect of using Ripple's technology. So there's a lot of NFT projects that are coming out, and a lot of people are I don't want to say it the wrong way, but kind of just slapping lipstick on a pig, right? They're just doing the same thing. Oh my goodness, look at the success of mutants. Look at the success of the Bored Ape Yacht, right? Look at the success of these other projects, and they're jumping on that success. And actually, a lot of them are failing. They're not selling out on day one. They're not getting, out what they want, and they're not grabbing traction because of the simple fact that it's just a Me Too project. So one of the things is, and my goal here today, guys, is to get you to understand why you want to stick with the Nexus ecosystem, why you want to help us build it, and why we want to continue to grow it. We are not just doing Me Too stuff, okay? Nothing that we're doing is Me Too. If you look at MMAC is using a unique technology that's patented. So if you look at what Ripples is doing, the first game, there'll be other games that use Ripples technology. We don't have an exclusive on it, but MMAC will be the first game that will be brought to the marketplace that will actually utilize this new technology just on MMAC. And then if you go to Muon, it's also going to be the first NFTs that uses Muon's protocols that they built that will allow it to go seamlessly from at one chain to the next chain to the next chain. So if you just look in that one project, you have two sets of innovation on the technology side, on the crypto side, and then on the gameplay, that the metaverse side of it. There's advantages to both of those that is being put into just one project. It's not the only project that we're doing this with. We are innovating. We have another series that we'll be doing directly with the Nexus ecosystem in crypto. We will be doing stuff that no one else has done before. So we're very innovative and very creative in the way that we push things forward. So we're not just replicating pump and dump tokens and, oh, somebody's doing this, so let's do it. Oh, that worked really well, so let's get into it. You notice none of our names have Shiba in them or Doge in them, right? Because we're not having to rely on names. None of it has BNB in it. None of it has, ADA in it. We're not saying, let's just go create, ADA plus and then put it out there, because that's what a lot of people in the space is doing. And I think what that reflects is the creative nature of what they're doing. So you have people that are creative and innovative that are developing something that's unique and something that has its USP, so unique selling proposition. And then you have the people that are just saying, let's jump on the coattails of this trend. So that is actually one of the things that will right there tell you whether somebody has a long-term thought process of the brand or a short-term type thing. So I'll give you some examples. Short-term thinking is, I'm going to sell a pet rock, I'm going to go on it. So if somebody's selling a pet rock and then I created a pet rock with fuzzy hair, I'm probably getting into something in a short term, something that's just trending. You can see it in culture. Maybe an event takes place and it's a event that you can look at and say, this is only going to last so long, and then people are going to forget about it, right? It's going to be a thing of the past. That is what a lot of people are doing in this space, because they're only here. So, and here's a goal, guys, because some of you guys are going to just stick with the Nexus ecosystem. And at the end of the day, people are going to go, wow, you were brilliant. How did you know to just stick with the system? And it's just, you're brilliant. Some of you, though, will say, you know what? I want to go outside the system and I want to experiment. And I want to, my friend is doing this. I already had somebody ask me about one of the loaning protocols that were out there that was paying a ridiculous amount of interest.
How did you know to just stick with the system?
And I said, look, more than likely it's going to crash and burn. But if you, want to go make the interest, I guess that's good. If you leave your money in there, you're going to die. One of my friends that I know was playing one of the games, and he was making 50,000 a month. Now he invested, I think, about 20 or 30 grand to do that. He built a team, he bought some that had developed, and he was making a lot of money. And that's because the token went from, I think, 10 or 20 bucks up to $800. But guess what? He didn't cash out because he was playing the game and he's on his, I'm going to become a gazillionaire. And of course, because the game was so simple for people to earn, He was making lots of money, but so were lots of other people. Eventually, people said, oh, let's all sell. Went from $800 down to the garbage can, and they ended up shutting the game down. It doesn't exist anymore. He didn't pull out nearly that much money. So he was never making $40,000 or $50,000 a month. It was showing that he was gaining that much, but him and no one else could pull it out. One of the keys here, guys, is if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Okay. And so that means if somebody says, hey, here's a game you can earn, and that's all you got to do one time a day, and you can make $100 a day, what is the value of? Not very much value, right? And so you have to look at it and say, how are they doing it? So when I look at the DeFi space, if I look at this stuff that we're doing, you can say, why are they paying me 20% or 100% or 200% interest? And you can say, well, okay, they're using my crypto to provide LP for a project, and I'm making money off every trade. That's the possibility, because if you're a 1%, let's say, fee, and that gets traded 100 times a day, you can make 100% a day on it, right? 1%, that same $100 traded. So you can see where the revenue gets generated for it. And I think that's what we need to do. This is a new space, and it's so innovative and so creative, but it still has to follow this principle. In order to make money in anything that we do, okay, we must first generate value to someone. So for me, if I'm a Rolex and I'm going to sell a watch, first of all, the first Rolexes didn't sell for a lot of money. Rolex built a reputation, and then at one point crossed from a regular watch to the watch of the rich, and over time built a reputation where wearing a Rolex watch means prestige, it means wealth, it means something, and it's made to a certain quality that then gives it that value. Okay, you couldn't just say, I'm going to create a watch tomorrow and I'm going to sell it for 20 grand, right? You've got to build on, and you've got to create that value in the marketplace. The same principles apply in the blockchain cryptocurrency space. We've got to create value. TruBadger has its value. We are right now becoming one of the premier consultants in the crypto space for leading people into creating great projects. So whenever, somebody asked me the other day, what is the value of TruBadger? The value of TruBadger is the community. First of all, community that holds. You can see that by our market caps. Yes, and they're not at all-time highs, but very few tokens are at all-time highs, right? Very few, maybe a handful of tokens right now at our all-time highs. Maybe not even that, right? Unless they just launched, and of course their high was $100 and now it's 1,000, right? So it's the market as a whole from where we're at right now, but we've built this unique. So that's the community. The second part of that is the consulting work that we're doing on helping these people develop projects that make sense. So when we look at this, we don't just find a team of people that have everything together and go, by the way, here's our token, here's our contracts, here's our website, here's all this. We're helping develop and build innovative and creative ways for people to bring these projects to the marketplace. And when I say innovative and creative, I mean innovative and creative. Things that they would have never thought of and that have not been thought of in the space, and not doing that with one project like MMAC, film, Ripple's technology, Muon, right? Boom, 3 unique selling propositions in one project. Imagine doing that over and over and over and over again. That is what we're doing. I don't even question whether we can keep doing it, because we're already doing it on such a level. We have 4 or 5 projects that are in the works right now, guys, where we're helping them develop a lot of their stuff, their tokenomics, their look, the verbiage that goes behind it, their taglines that are just, out of this world. The entire process of how it utilizes the blockchain and how it utilizes cryptocurrency in a unique way that enhances it. So one of the projects they brought us, it was a great idea. we've taken it from a great idea because of putting it a supporting DAO. So there's the company and then there's the supporting DAO. The supporting DAO, I believe, has now more potential than the company itself because of the innovation and the value that the blockchain delivers and brings into that picture. This is the stuff that we're doing. So, and when you're innovating like this and you're creating and you're doing it, you have the potential then to build tremendous companies that have tremendous market caps, right? I'm not talking about 20 and 30 and $50 million market caps, but billion, multi-billion dollar, and maybe even beyond that market caps. And that's the type of stuff that we're bringing to the table. Insights right now, we were hoping to launch it sooner, but because of the innovations in it. So Insights is not a cryptocurrency trading bot. There's lots of those out there. It is a decentralized trading mechanism that will allow you to trade on a decentralized platform. You're never giving custody of your crypto to anybody. The trading bots, you're either giving it to the bot, people that hold the bot, or you're giving it to a centralized exchange. Somebody else is holding on to your crypto. So we receive crypto from different people. And if you go online and you look at whether it's BNB or Ethereum, you'll see these giant wallets. And it'll be the hot wallet for Binance or the hot wallet for Kraken. I want you guys to understand your crypto that is on these exchanges. It's not separated. It's not like, here's my crypto. No, it's a giant pool of crypto that when you want to pull yours, they pull from the pool and then it is sold off and then that goes in there, right? So you're pooling it together with everyone else. So what does that mean? If there's a hack or something goes wrong in a centralized exchange, everybody could end up losing what's there. It's centralized. Somebody else is holding on to your assets and you're putting it in it. I love decentralized and Insights, and there may be other ones out there, but I don't know of them, right? I know there are some that you can utilize PancakeSwap to do some trading, but to have a decentralized trading mechanism, this is one of the only ones that I know of. And so we're innovating in the space, right? With the way that it functions with mid wallets and with all that stuff that's going on and making it work in there. And so that is an innovative product that in the next few weeks, once it is up and running, if it delivers on what we believe it can do, it will bring an explosion to Insights. But that explosion then, and this is the reason for building a system, right? It's the reason for building the Nexus ecosystem is the explosion in one will then trickle out to the rest of what we're doing. And once Insights has 1,000 people trading, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 people using it to trade, at that point when we're launching tokens, it goes Catapult, phase 1, phase 2, PancakeSwap onto Insights, which now has access to tens and thousands of traders at that point, right? Once we get there, now the exposure goes out to a lot more people. This is a system, guys, but you have to build the system out. You have to perfect it. You have to go through it. And so that's Insights is our community. Insights is our trader. It's access to at some point. Once we build it out, thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, I believe possibly maybe even someday hundreds of thousands of traders around the world that we'll have access to, that will be able to say, oh, by the way, here's a new project that just came out, and then watch those, that volume come in and give it that side of it. Okay. So you've got innovation in CMP with what we're doing with Mixed Martian Arts Club, innovation in Insights, and then Safufied with the fact that we're going to help companies set up DAOs. So all of our projects will be DAOs. They'll be set up through Safufied. But remember, we're going to have other people bring us projects and say, we want to use your DAO. We'll get to know the owners because of the vetting process and all that stuff. We'll at some point be able to say, hey, here's a project. It's not a Nexus project, but it's a great project with a great team and has a lot of potential. So we'll be able to find other projects that people want to be able to get involved with. And what we've just laid out in some of the future initiatives that we're doing over the next 3, 6 months, a year. Yes, I said a year, guys, because I know some of you are like, what, a year away? Yes, we're planning a year out, 2 years out, 3 years out, 5 years out. I'm in the blockchain space, in the crypto space, not because it's and I know I've said this 1,000 times, a slot machine at a casino. It's a business model. It's something that's going to innovate and change the world. We were just on a call earlier today, and we were talking about, self-driving cars in the future, where it's going, and being able to do that and taking underutilized assets. Okay, so if you have a cell phone, let's say, and it's sitting there and you make 10 phone calls a day, let's say you're busy like me, 30, 40 phone calls a day, there's still a majority of the time that your cell phone is an underutilized asset, meaning you have access to the internet, you're paying for it, and you have computing power, and you have storage that's not being used because the phone is sitting idle, right? That was the whole idea of the sharing economy that came into existence. Uber, right? Airbnb. That was the beginning of the sharing of utilizing underutilized assets. I am telling you right now, guys, when it comes to conservation, saying we're going to be on this planet for a while, making the world a better place as far as environmental wise, as far as usage wise, running out of supplies, right? Whether it's running out of oil or running out of aluminum or whatever it is, any resource. The way forward with that is through innovation. Innovation solves problems, right? And it's not through punishment, it's through innovation. Why is the blockchain so important? Because the blockchain is the key element to being able to innovate and move things forward. And let's get into that side of it, okay? So innovation, this is where I see the world in the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? Most people won't own a car. It'll be like iRobot, somebody had mentioned, right? Where there's cars that just zip around the highway, but you will, let's say you're going to go to the grocery store. When you go to the grocery store, you're not bringing anything with you. You're going by yourself, so you don't need a big car to store it. So a small vehicle shows up, you get in, it takes you to the grocery store, you get out, it drives away. There's no need for a parking lot, right? Think about all the space that we utilize for parking lots right now. Massive amounts, driveways. Imagine if you didn't need to have a driveway in your front yard, or didn't need to have a garage because you didn't own a car, you owned a car service, and it would send you within 60 seconds. Matter of fact, if you plan out well, it would be there 100% of the time when you walk out of the door. The right vehicle would be there for you to utilize because, again, of the data, the information that's there. And I know right now some of you are getting scared because when the person we were talking to said, I don't want everybody to know what I'm buying. Let me finish, okay? So let's say I'm going to go to Home Depot. I'm going to buy a 20-foot long thing. Right now I look at it and go, I can't fit it in my car. What am I going to do? In that situation, they take you to the store in one type of vehicle. When you come back, it looks and says, wow, this is the car that was purchased, or the stuff that was purchased. We need to deliver this type of vehicle for them to be able to get home. And that's the vehicle that shows up. That stuff gets put in the vehicle. It takes you home, and then that one leaves and the next one comes, right? Now, she said, oh, I don't want people to know what I'm buying. That is the reason why we need to build the decentralized blockchains. Decentralized blockchains, people could see that the purchase was made. People could see that a vehicle went there, but they don't know who got the vehicle. They don't know who purchased it because there's the security of the blockchain. This is why it's so important. This is coming whether or not we engage or don't engage, guys. The key is this. Do we want centralized exchanges that people like Amazon and Facebook control and own, where they do know what you purchased? They are able to then use your data and information to sell you crap that you don't want. I'm going to ask a question here and put a 2 in the chat if this has happened to you. You went and searched for something that you never planned on buying. somewhere online. You just wanted to look at it. And then for the next week, every ad that comes up on Facebook and that is for that product. They're like stalking you. I don't really want one. I just saw it and wanted to go see what it was about. And ad after ad after ad after ad is about that and running toward, coming to market to you. Guys, that is because they have way too much information on us. The blockchain will stop that. You can decide to have it done and you would get a share of that revenue. Look, Mark Zuckerberg didn't go to Hawaii and spend $200 million or whatever it was on a piece of land because there's no money in data. Thank you. He should send every one of us a thank you card because our data, our information is what he provided us. So here's the thing with humans. We like stuff for free. Facebook said, we'll give it to you for free, the use of Facebook, but what we want is your information and your data. I would have rather had Facebook go, you know what, pay me $2 a month and leave my data alone. I could have paid $24 a year and been on a social network. They would have still made money, but they didn't. You know why? Because they make more than $2 a month off of our data, off of our information, off of selling that ads and that type of stuff. What is the solution? The solution is the blockchain. Because if my data and information is, let's say, worth $20 a month, maybe I could get 10 of that back. And then the people that are helping me monetize it, they get half of it and I get half of it. Now you've got something that's fair. Let me ask you a question. Put in a 3 if you guys would like to monetize your own data if it's going to be monetized. How many of you guys would like to control it yourself? Be the one that's benefiting from it. All of us would. And it doesn't matter to me whether it's $5 or $10 or $20. If I can just click a button and sign up for something that says, yes, monetize my data, then I would do that. Because if I can get 10 from there and maybe 10 from some mining and 10 here and 10 here and 10 here and 10 here, then I can utilize that to get me into the blockchain space. I will go from there. So I will tell you guys that we are moving into what is called the participatory economy. That means by participating, you can benefit financially. However, you need to participate with the right entities. There'll be entities that are centralized entities. You participate with them, you get nothing. You participate over here, something that has embraced the blockchain and cryptocurrency, and because they can verify your participation. So here's the problem with the participatory economy before the blockchain. It was very hard to, without knowing who you were, to verify your participation. Okay. Now with the blockchain and the security that's there, a company can say, here's the value that was provided. And so here's compensation or revenue for that value. And because it's secure on a blockchain, they can know that they're monetizing people that were supposed to be monetized, right? That were on that side of it. Imagine being an advertiser and instead of having people click on something and just fake, stuff, people being able to manipulate that the advertising, the marketing is now being done through a blockchain, and you're able to see the direct response there from it and better gauge it for businesses alone. So we've got personal benefit. You've got business benefit. That's a win-win situation across the board. And I know I don't hear a lot of other people talking about this, and I go listen to a lot of stuff, right? Some of the best, biggest people in crypto. And I hear very few people talk about microtransactions, which is going to be a tremendous side of the crypto space in the next 3, 5, 10 years as chains roll out, whether it's Polygon with next to no fees, or ADA, very low fees, or Polkadot, these type of things where transactions can take place almost instantaneously. And you could do something where I'd say, hey, it's a nickel, right? If I had a piece of information that I could share with 1 million people and charge them 5 cents, everybody would get value for that. I could make $50,000. So if I could come up with one piece of information a month that I could have 1 million people go, yes, I'd pay 5 cents for that information, save them some time, save a hack, a cheat, those type of things, instead of having to pimp myself out to, you know, as an influencer to somebody to sell you some junk or some crap, right? Or, you know, ads that nobody wants to see. Wouldn't it be better to just, hey, I want some information on how to fix this. It's a nickel or a dime. The problem is, why can't they do it right now? Because of the transaction side of things. I would either have to pre-put money up and then have them withdraw from there. But if you have an instantaneous blockchain situation where I can go, oh, I want that information, there's 5 cents. Now it's beautiful. The other thing is doing the accounting on 5 cents, right? I want you to think about that. So, okay, 5 cents, let's see, 0.0002 goes to this person, 3, blah, blah, blah. By the time you do the accounting on the 5 cents, you've again put yourself in the hole. Think smart contracts. Think the ability to be able to instantly split that 5 cents up out to 10 people or 8 people, 14 people. No need to sit there and try to figure out the accounting on it. Everybody got exactly what they were supposed to in this chain, right? That was there. You know, blockchains can track data, can track information. So whether it's a car that maybe you get charged by the mile or by the minute or by whatever it is, those will be able to be tracked on a secure blockchain and then charge you appropriately. So instead of having one car sitting in a driveway that you may use, my vehicle, I haven't driven it in 2 days. It's just been sitting outside for 2 days. I haven't gone anywhere for 2 days. Wouldn't it have been better if I needed a vehicle? So I'm paying insurance on it. I'm paying the storage of my driveway on it, right? For a vehicle that I used, you know, now some of you guys have jobs where you leave the house, so you do use your vehicle every day. But there's other people that are maybe retired, right? That I would say my mom probably uses her car maybe once a week. That's about how often she uses it, right? But she's paying, you know, $100 for insurance a month for it, and she's paying for it. If she was to do this through a different system, maybe she could save, you know, $200 a month instead of having the car payment and the insurance on that type of thing. So I want you to think through the process of how this can improve people's lives. Some of the devices and things we're using. I'm right now, my computer, it's on right now, makes me, I don't know what it's making right now. Maybe it's 30, 40 cents a day. It runs in the background and it's basically helping process transactions on the blockchain. Now, I only have one device on it. I have another thing running on my cell phone right now. It probably makes 8, 10 cents a day, 20 cents a day right now. Right? But imagine being able to take these underutilized resources and instead of expenses, we're talking with a company right now. And let me know, you guys, how would you like to have where you have a cell phone bill? Let's say it's $50 a month, but that cell phone could make you $60 or $70 a month. So essentially your bill is wiped out and then you're probably making another $10 or $20 more than that. And it's paid to you in a crypto that can actually go up in value. I use the Brave browser right now, right? Now, I usually only get a penny or a half a penny or a quarter penny in Brave, but I think Brave has huge potential, right? The BAT token, basic attention token. I'm accumulating those in a wallet. I never look at it, guys. I don't use it for anything else. I don't even know how much is in there right now. Last time I looked, I think it had like 17 bucks in it. I use Brave. I click on ads occasionally and I look at it and it's making me $1, $2, $3, $4 a month. But if I keep letting that build up over the next year, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, in 10 years, I could log in there and I could have tens of thousands of dollars in there because BAT has gone up in value and I did it. Now, what's the difference? I was using Google. I was getting nothing from Google. I'm getting something from Brave. And that something then can build up. Now I'm not taking my 40 cents and going Well, what can I buy right now? A quarter of a candy bar, right? I go stand out in front of Circle K and say, hey, I got 40 cents. You have 40 cents. You have 40 cents. Let's all buy a candy bar together and we'll split it 3 ways and we'll all have a candy bar. No, because I'm not doing anything. I have it set up on autopilot. I click on ads occasionally that I'm interested in. They pay me money. They transfer it directly to my wallet and it just sits there and grows. So these are the things that we are going to start sharing with you guys. We're building a forum. It will be a paid forum for people that want to participate on the side. We're going to give digital assets. We have talked about having the PTR members being able to have free access to it, but you wouldn't be able to have the get the crypto or the digital assets basically that'll be distributed every month for having it. So we're working on that, and that'll be all lined up and put together. But if you do want to participate in some of that stuff, but we're going to give tips on farming. So if some of you want to put a few $100s to work to start earning you, 200, 300% in legitimate projects, you have to be very careful, guys, that the projects you're putting it in are legitimate. Because I got to tell you what, I could pay you 10 million% interest a day, not a year. But if you're never able to take any of it out, you could put $1 in and go, oh my goodness, I'm up to $38,000. And then it collapses and it goes to zero. Did you do anything other than lose $1? No, you've lost money. So the first key to getting in these projects is making sure they're long-term. I want to ask you guys a question. For me, cryptocurrency trading is very stressful when I'm trying to chase and maybe some of you guys like it, right? And I know there are people who do like it. They love the adrenaline. But for me, I have a life to live and I have companies to build and I have all this other stuff. So in this time frame that I was chasing crypto, in order to make money doing it, and I did make money doing it, it was 24/7. It was enveloping my life. I was checking my phone every few minutes, right, to see where my crypto was at. Did it go up? Did it go down? Oh my goodness. And some of you guys might be going through this. On the days where it goes down, you're so stressed out because you're watching your portfolio go down. That's the reason we created the Nexus ecosystem. I don't have to chase tokens anymore. I get tokens in projects that have great long-term potential. A company like Insights that could have 100,000 people paying it $50, $100 a month at some point in time to trade for it. So literally have 5, 10 million a month in revenue coming in, $60, $100 million a year, making huge margins on that, right? Because of the uniqueness of the software. That is a company that if I own tokens in, because it's a DAO, that I would receive that benefit from it. CNP. Right now, OpenSea, the top NFT project, that the platform that's out there, guys, has a market cap of $13.3 billion. I want to say that again. The top platform right now, OpenSea, $13.3 billion market cap. I didn't give it the market cap. It's not a token. It's the business community has assigned a $13.3 billion market cap to it. Real quick, not including mixed martial arts. How many of you guys on here owned NFTs prior to this? Put a 1 in if you owned NFTs prior to this. And you got those from being involved with us, right, George? Which is still connected to TruBadger, right? Still the Nexus ecosystem. Everybody I see putting in there were people that through what we're doing with TruBadger, Nexus ecosystem, and prior to that with Cooler Brands has been that, except for Tim bought one on OpenSea. Okay. So here's the thing is, I want you to think how few of the people on here that are listening, 30 on this, I'm not watching the YouTube, maybe there's a few on there. Think about the small percentage of people that own NFTs in the world, and the platform is already worth $13.3 billion. So CNP, mixed martial arts. CNP, I'm not going to say the next one. CNP, oh, I'm not going to say the next one. 4 NFT projects right now, they're going to come out with CNP that are all going to create tremendous amounts of success. Now, maybe our platform's not worth 13.3 billion. Maybe it's worth 1 billion. Maybe it gets to 300 million. Who, if you guys can tell me, do you think is going to get the ability to get involved in CNP when its token is ready? Can you guys tell me who it's being launched through? How it's being launched? Yes, you. And so think about the tremendous opportunities that are ahead for us to build in a space that's going to revolutionize the world. So I want to go back to this self-driving car thing. So we've all seen the movies. Live Free and Die Hard, I think, is the one where they take control of people's cars and they start crashing them, right? Without the blockchain, I'm scared as hell. With the blockchain, I'm not worried about it because no one will be able to hack my car. I will have the unique keys to it. I will protect it. I will be the one, and they will not be able to hack into my car. Those things will not be able to happen. You know, we've seen a lot of stuff with people hacking into nanny cams, people hacking into Alexa, right? Or Google's one. Guess what, guys? That is the Internet of Things. What is being built right now? The Internet of Trusted Things. Why are they trusted? Can somebody tell me why is it from the Internet of Things to the Internet of Trusted Things? Blockchains. This is why this is the biggest economic movement in the history of mankind. Humankind. This is why it is so big. It is why there will be trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars made. Because the problem of the Internet of Things was that you couldn't trust those things. We need to be able to trust. If we're going to put our lives into it, we need to be able to trust it. So what is the Internet of Trusted Things? It is devices that are connected to decentralized blockchains. I need you to hear that clearly. Decentralized blockchains. There will be centralized blockchains. They're in the process of building it. But the key is if it's centralized, then one group would then have the controlling access to those blockchains. We need decentralized blockchains. So 2 futures. One is the blockchain is hijacked and becomes the majority of it centralized. And we're just where we're at right now, just a different, you know, kind of the same, what is it? The same something, right? Same day, different, or same day, same crap, right? Something like that. Or we end up with mainly decentralized, some centralized exchanges, and we create value in our lives. How do we get to mainly decentralized and some centralized, right? A combination of the two, but most decentralized. We are the key to that. And I'm not talking about we, the team at Nexus Ecosystem or TruBadger. I'm talking about we as individuals, we as token holders. So the first thing is we've got to get involved in projects that we're willing to support for more than 48 hours or 72 hours or a week or a month or a couple months. Because the only way that companies can function. So I'll tell you, here's the key. Decentralized, the people provide the resources to it. Centralized, you go to VCs, wealthy companies. Wealthy companies can continue to put money in and drive the innovation, whether or not there's a lot of revenue coming through right now. Decentralized organizations must have the support of the community. It's why community is so important in the aspect of it. So before the blockchain, we worked with entrepreneurs. And the one thing I learned is entrepreneurialism, companies, projects, 90% or more of the team 10% or less the product that that team is selling. 90-10, okay? In the blockchain space, when it comes to startups, when it comes to early stage projects, this is the first time I've really put this into perspective, guys. In all blockchain, it's 50% community, 40% team, 10%. And an early stage startup project like Catapult, like Safufied, like Insights, like CNP, like TruBadger, it's 80% community, 15 to 17, 18% the team, and only 2% or 3% the project. The majority of it is the community. And why do I bring this up? Because we're the community. Now, we don't need a community of 1 million people to do this. A community of 10, 20, 30, 40,000 dedicated people that are willing to support and get behind projects and not look like it as a slot machine. Boom, we have it. So we've got this bright future where the blockchain, a decentralized blockchain, will solve a tremendous amount of problems. How many people have either been hit by identity theft or know somebody that's been hit by identity theft? I can put a 1 in there for knowing somebody that's been hit by identity theft, right? The blockchain, I don't think it will completely eliminate it, but it will reduce it dramatically. But it's going to take time for that to happen. It's not going to happen next week. It's going to happen over the course of time, over the next few years, to be able to do that. But in order for those things to be fixed, it needs to take people like us that are looking at it from a long-term perspective to move things forward. Guys, we have a call in another 10 minutes to go over a absolutely freaking exciting project. It's actually one that would have a revenue source combined to it, where a referral type side of it, where you guys could earn some money if you wanted to by going out and sharing it with people. So we're very excited about that. So we have one question here. Have we been told when we can buy the NFT? So Brenda, the NFT is in pre-sale, in the early sale right now. You can go and put a $20 deposit on that and Catapult. By the way, guys, only about 55% of the people that filled out the survey have gone on and done their NFT on Catapult. If you know somebody who filled out a survey, please do me a favor, reach out to them and see if they've already gone through and done it. We were going to close it last night. We have to get this completed before we can begin to set the date for actually launching the NFTs. I'm hoping it's in the next 2 to 3 weeks at the most, where you can actually go purchase your aliens, hopefully maybe even a little sooner. But the first thing we need to do is get through this first phase. And right now, only about 55 or 60% of the people that filled out the surveys and said, yes, I want one, have actually gone on Catapult and done it. So somewhere along the lines, we have a disconnect on the number of people that want it to and the number of people that know they can right now. So if you guys can go out there and let people know, hey, did you know you can do it? Yes, I have done that. Okay, so you're good, Brenda, because you've already registered. So it's just wait until we get to that point. And we will give you guys a time. It's not like, hey, it's available tomorrow. You need to hurry up and get it. We'll give you, 4 or 5 days to get the Matic, right? Polygon Matic, and to be able to move forward from there. Okay. So if you're on here and you're ready, put a 1 in. If you're on and you've already went on and registered on the Catapult and put your deposit down for your NFTs. Okay. You guys are the plugged in ones. And that's why we rely on you guys to maybe go tell some of the people that are not plugged in that, hey, you can go do that. Here's a video where you can go on Catapult and you can get that registered and get that going. Because you guys are the ones that are showing up on it. A lot of other people are distracted and they're doing their thing and they touch in occasionally. So if you guys can help us get that news out there, we've extended it now till I believe Saturday will be the close day on it, on Saturday. So if you could go out there and again, share with people, hey, did you get your NFTs on Catapult? Did you pre-register for it? Got Matic on Coinbase. Oops. No worries. You can just convert it on I actually have Matic on Coinbase anyway. Well, I had Matic Polygon before we ever did this because it's got a lot of potential in that side of it. But if you got it on Coinbase, guys, don't even worry about it. You just go through Simple Swap, and it's a very little fee, and you just go from that Polygon to the right Polygon. Okay, right Matic that's there. So that's an easy fix right there on that side of it. All right, guys, if there's no other questions, you guys know if you are at the event, you can now go claim your SAFU-fied tokens and your Insights tokens from being at the event. Real quick, can you share the NFT? So you guys know you're going to get 5 NFTs, one for TruBadger, one for Catapult, one for SAFU-fied, one for Insights, and one for CNP. Those will come over the next 3 or 4 months. But we did finish the first NFT artwork for it, and we will be releasing it as soon as CNP is up. So once CSP is up, we'll set up the process and you'll be able to claim those. Figure a couple weeks afterwards. But we have finished the first one. The design is done. And Rhonda is going to show it to you. She is showing it to you. Here she goes. She is there. Boom. There it is, guys. Crypto Storm in the desert. This is the first one. All the NFTs will have their own theme. So Catapults will be different. Insights will be different. So we're beginning to work on those designs and those developments on here. But this is the first one. You'll be able to claim that. It's a beautiful piece. And don't be surprised. You had to be at the event, or you had to stream it, right? Be at the event or streamed it, okay, to get one of these. Right now, it's a beautiful piece of artwork. However, do not be surprised at down the road in the future if there is not some utility added to these NFTs, okay? There's no promise of it, but don't be surprised when it happens, okay? That there's a utility, there's a reason for owning these, because that event had such an impact on what we're doing and where we're going that we are going to continue, you're going to continue to benefit from these as they go into the marketplace. So that is the first one. If you want to give them a little tease of my new little alien, this is my, how can you say it? My personal alien NFT here that Rhonda can also show you. There it is. That is me, my alien in my costume that I lent to it for being the TruBadger. So that is just a little sneak peek on the alien for for a custom one that has been made for that. So I can't wait to see Doug's. There's going to be one developed for Doug. So that's going to be awesome. And maybe, who knows, maybe some that are developed that'll be randomly inserted throughout the series that some of you guys might get excited to get because of its meaning that's in it. So, all right. Well, guys, thank you for joining us today. We are going to jump off and go do another meeting. Do not let the market scare you guys. This is the time to and we used to say this in the kind of the MLM days, that there's going to be raining money and you want to put buckets out, right? And if I said to you, I don't remember who told me, but one of the leaders said, look, if I told you tomorrow it's going to be raining $100 bills, would you want 1 bucket out, 2 buckets out, 3 buckets, 4 buckets? Would you want to go to Walmart and get the little kid pools maybe, because that would fall in easier than a bucket? Or maybe you'd want to build a unique bucket that covered your entire front yard, right? One giant bucket where it could all fall into, right? Right now is the time to set yourself up in the space while the fear is higher. So there's a fear and greed index. Right now we're in extreme fear. In extreme greed, you're too late if you're just getting your buckets put out in extreme greed. You're going to catch probably the top of the market. Extreme fear is when you want to set yourself up for when extreme greed happens. And then from there, you can pull a little off the table And then when extreme fear comes back, go reset your buckets, get back into the market heavily, and then build with the projects that are launching during those times. Some of the biggest projects right now that are out there in the top 100, if you go look at it, those were the ones that were putting their buckets out during extreme fear from the March of 2018 all the way through that process until the summer of 2020 or early spring of 2020 when things really started to take off. So ones that developed and built infrastructure and put themselves in place during that time. So this is a time for us to set things up, to put things in motion, and then really take advantage. So the blockchain is going to be in every aspect of our lives. But here's the thing is, in a decentralized blockchain is not Big Brother. A centralized blockchain could be Big Brother. A decentralized blockchain would not be Big Brother because of the security of the chain. And so what is our job to do? Our job is to keep it decentralized. How do we do it? By bringing massive numbers of people in as fast as possible and getting them into beneficial projects so they at least begin to see some progress and they have the opportunity to understand what the real blockchain can do, a decentralized one, and that they're with a community of people that have a commonality, and that commonality is financial benefit of everybody that's in that community, including themselves, yourself, okay? Yourself and everyone in the community. We all benefit. We all win together. Thank you, guys, and we will see you next Thursday. Thank you, PTR.